Good morning, y'all. We got our peppers and tomatoes planted last night. It took us a while, but we got it done. We had to sort which variety we wanted, and of course I wanted 2 of each variety. And then I had to decide where I wanted to plant them and how I wanted to plant them. I thought I had room for 1 row of tomatoes and 1 row of peppers, but actually, if I followed decent spacing requirements, I probably put my peppers too close together because I was literally out of room. We've got Wild Boar Farms, Pink Boar, and of course I planted our cole. Oh no, those are basils. So we got some dark purple basil, that pink Berkeley tie-dye, which is a Wild Boar Farms. Those are big tomatoes, and some cinnamon basil, some pink Berkeley tie-dye. Let's see, Black Beauty, more cinnamon basil, some Black Beauty, Blue Beauty, and then some purple basil. So I kind of, not necessarily every other one, but I kind of spaced out the basils. I don't need that much basil, but I like it. I like the way it smells. I like the way it looks. And then we did end up transplanting the volunteer sunflowers. So I did get those put in this bed. And then we've got Blue Beauty, Pink Boar from Wild Boar Farms. And then what's it? Classic Beefsteak. That one's the Baker Creek heirloom. And then I ran out of room on that side for the peppers, so I put them in here. I'm not sure they're going to stay here, but I put them in here. They're the Ozark Giants. They're big red bell peppers. And so we had the two classic beefsteaks, and then we have the 2 Abe Lincolns. So those are the most and only real traditional tomato plants that I planted that's of the big variety. And that's another cinnamon basil. I'm not seeing any transplant shock. When I transplanted them yesterday evening after work, I have this transplant food that I fed. You put it in the water and I dug the hole, and I put the tomato and pepper and seeds and everything in the hole where it was supposed to be, and then I watered. Like if I dug the hole and put the pepper and tomato in before I filled the hole in, I gave it a good drink. Then I filled the hole in, gave it another good drink. These beds are raised beds, so they have very good drainage, so I don't have to worry about them being too waterlogged. But I'm not seeing any transplant shock so far. Okay, so then we got Zulu bell pepper. So those are the dark purple or black. I've always been told that peppers like to hold hands, so they like to be planted close. I planted 4 bell pepper plants, and then, let's see, was it I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Anaheim. It's a big mild pepper. You can open them up and stuff them. That's what I'm going to do with them. I planted 4 of those. I planted 4 Italian pepperoncinis. I like those. I first found those. I didn't know what I was eating all these times I've been eating them, but there's a roast recipe that my husband makes, and he puts a whole jar of those Italian pepperoncini peppers in with the roast. It's really good. So I thought maybe I'll try growing some fresh and see how they taste in a roast. And then the nadapinos. Now I think there's only 3 nadapinos plants. They have 0 heat. And then we have the tame jalapenos, which is a mild heat. And then I planted 5 shishito peppers. All of these are seeds from Baker Creek. That was just in one. I was just in one little pack, and so I separated them and planted them. So I thought about filling in that back corner, but I think I'm just gonna leave that spot open in case they need the extra room. And I'm thinking about planting some more shishito peppers in another spot, because that's gonna be my favorite pepper. And then, so M.I. Gardner, we got some tomato plants or seeds from M.I. Gardner. We got the Amish paste. That is for the, like your sauces, or if you want to make pastes, they'll have a little less juice. And then our cherry tomatoes, we have the Napa Chardonnay. Those are from Wild Boar Farms. They're so pretty. They're not, I guess they're not a true cherry, but they're on the smaller side. They're like 1 to 2 ounce fruits. And then the chestnut chocolate, those are also very small. And then we've got Berry's Crazy cherries. So we got those done. So all in all, I planted 2 of every tomato plant and either 3 or 4 pepper plants. And the pepper plants are all holding hands, so we'll see if that works. If not, next year I will know what tomato plants do really good here, and I will know what my favorite tomato variety is. And I won't plant as many tomato plants, probably not, unless I find more I want to try. But I don't know what kind of tomatoes I like to eat. I don't know if I like yellow tomatoes or black tomatoes or purple tomatoes or red tomatoes. So I'm gonna find out. And this year is the year. I have a coleus. Me and Crazy, we grew coleus from seed. So I transplanted the coleus out last night. So last night was our first night out. Nobody looks terrible. And then this is tonight's goal, is to get this all spread out and that last bit of soil done. I didn't make it very far on getting my soil forked loose in the center bed. I'm just going to plant flowers in it, and hollyhocks, zinnias, probably some sunflowers too. And then let's see, I have a little bit of carrots coming up in the carrot bed. We've got plenty of spinach coming up. Lots of spinach coming up, and onions. What do we got? A little bit of cilantro and a little bit of lettuce. It's hard to see, but a little bit of lettuce. Cruzy's green stalks are doing really good. Hey Cruzy, did you get your everybody water? So those 3 chicken waterers that I seen that was dirty and filled full of yuck, you got those dumped and filled up? Because I'll be in there to check in just a second. Look, her green stalks are doing so good. The bok choy, she's been picking the cabbage leaves and feeding them to our creatures, which is what it's here for. And her mint, oh, her radishes. We got 3, or my radishes, they're not Cruzy's, 3 varieties of radishes. We got early, white hellstone, and wasabi radish. And that's a volunteer. That's another volunteer. This is the one volunteer that all of these beds over here are all new beds. So this came in bagged compost. Got another one. Here's a volunteer. That, of course, is a volunteer. So we've got 3 volunteers now. Since these are going to be, looks like they're going to be much bigger plants, I'll probably leave the 2 on the outside But I'm thinking I may have to transplant this one since it's gonna cause problems with my radishes. Let's see. And mint. The mint is coming in. This bed, it's not as big, but it looks like there's more mint spots. The chickens had a heyday with it, so I wasn't sure if it was gonna come out or not. We have decided, I wasn't sure how I was gonna do it. We have decided that we're gonna make this end row, or end raised bed. It's 27 feet long, it's 3 foot wide. We're going to make it our perennial herb garden. So I've already transplanted out our lavender elegance that we started from seed. So I got it transplanted out. It's supposed to spread pretty good. I'm gonna give them, I guess we're gonna start off with like 2 feet per perennial. I gotta get these tree seeds out of here. I don't want trees growing in it. So I think it's gonna be pretty neat. So I've got to go find some more perennial seeds for herbs. Let's get those going. I've got plenty of lavender, but there's a few mints that I'm missing that I want to add. I want to add a chocolate mint. I want to add an orange mint. I have spearmint already and peppermint already. Was it pineapple mint? It was a really neat one. But let's see, what do we got here? Spinach, the giant noble, and then of course our shallots. Got our shallots. Looks like everything is doing really good. And our bok choy, Chinese cabbage, a salad blend, and calendula. I know I always want to call it calendula, but I know it's calendula. But I'm probably never gonna instinctively call it that, and so I'm gonna struggle with that one for the rest of my life. But that's okay. But yeah, that's how our garden's doing so far. I'm going to do video vlogs probably as things are added, and then probably weekly. And one reason is so I can look back and see when I planted something, what variety I planted, time of year, how things grew. So next year I'll know if I need to change something or if I need to add something. I am going to add more sunflowers to this bed because I've been told, now they're not spaced very close together, but I've been told, and I've been doing some reading, and I've experienced it myself, that when sunflowers are added to your tomato and pepper beds, as long as the sunflowers leaves don't touch your tomatoes, they are wonderful at providing afternoon shade. So in July, when things hit 100 degrees, the sunflowers will give enough shade to the tomatoes and peppers to help them prevent dropping their buds or their blooms. Once they get too hot, they won't produce new fruit until they get shade cloth added to them or it starts cooling back down. And I don't want them to drop any fruit in July, because like July is like tomato eating day, you know? So I put the sunflowers in, and I'm gonna plant more sunflowers down the middle of this side because I ran out of the volunteer ones, and I don't know how tall the volunteer ones are gonna get because they're volunteer, and I have no idea what hybrid I'm gonna get, or if they're gonna be pure seeds. I have no idea, because we had like 3 varieties planted last year in that one bed, and the chickens was in that bed all winter scratching and digging and eating. So whatever grew was destined to grow, so I did transplant them. We're gonna let them go at that end. That is my naturally more shaded end anyway. It gets a little afternoon shade down there, so those are good to go. And then I'll plant some sunflower seeds in the first bed and a half. I'll plant a few more. I'm probably gonna I might plant some, like, because these are Berry's Crazy Cherries. These are going to be smaller tomato plants, so I may drop some more bell pepper plants I don't know that 4 bell pepper plants is going to be enough bell peppers, because I know they really don't produce that much peppers. So might go ahead and do more bell peppers and maybe a couple more shishitos through here. Space them out. Maybe I'll space them out a lot more and see if they do really good holding hands, or if they will prefer the extra space. Or I may end up just with one big pepper jungle, because last few years I've ended up with tomato jungles, and I've spaced them decently. I mean, I know some people get extreme with their spacing, but I'm not going to. Do you guys want some? Crazy's little birthday chickens. You guys got your pretty little bands on. Yeah, you got your pretty little bands on. Here you go. You guys want some? That's Peppa. He's our best boy. Yeah, you're our best boy, aren't you, Peppa? And she has her lettuce, or cabbage. Got you some cabbage. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I'm gonna get Cruzy rounded up and get her, make sure she's got all of her little critters fed and watered. I don't really do a lot of feeding except for like the ducks, the baby ducks, because they tend to be hungry. The chicks, they eat quite a bit, but their feeders usually will last until the end of the day. So she needs to come out in the morning. I'm not putting my plans out because I've got a lot to do tonight, and I'm not gonna have enough time to get everybody pulled in. Plus I don't really know what all this rain is going to do, and I don't know if there's any storms with it, which I don't think there is. I haven't checked the forecast. So I'm just gonna leave the plants in the windows today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna take all of these extra plants to the market at the Wapapello exit. So I will probably keep some back for like the really small ones, the ones that didn't, you know, get a lot of shade or didn't start as quickly as the rest. I might keep those back and then gift them, or just find some random spot to plant them, because I don't want to waste them. But I have a few that's kind of on the small side, so a few late seedlings that sprouted. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.